Oh, warm coffee. Another day. I did not get much sleep at all last night as usual because I was too busy thinking about and missing my son. It was his birthday yesterday and my wife has been so evil and broken the law, taking advantage of my intellectual disability, that I haven't been able to see him, his face not once, not even talk on a telephone. Absolutely nothing, no form of contact allowed for reasons that she's just made up of extremely lying excuse. And me not understanding my legal rights, how to reply in never-ending easy evidence that her claims are false. It's just nobody looks after people individually. You only get assisted if you have severe false claims made against yourself. Then I get free representation. So if it's my wife wants something versus me, it's just automatically her side because she's a woman. And then when I rebel, eventually, because she won't let me see my son, then I'm the one that's arrested because I'm male. It's a bullshit. It's 100% for sure. If there was nothing different between me and my wife whatsoever, and we just swapped genders, I would have sole custody of my son and I would have full control of our 8 years worth of house and assets we all acquired. She has broken the law endlessly, but she gets away with it because no one cares about me. I'm just the male who's stereotyped, and with my intellectual disability I can't understand how to process paperwork. In my previous videos I've been mentioning that my NDIS has come up with the idea that I have a $200,000 budget that's just nothing but rose endlessly at a shocking rate I can't even relate to or understand, and I don't know if the woman that's helping me with NDIS is incredibly nice or if she's milking the system. When watching something similar to A Current Affair a few weeks ago, they were saying how the biggest money wasting problem in all Australia is the NDIS and people abusing it, and that's what I feel like I'm involved in at the moment. I do not understand how my NDIS provider originally gets a budget for me that's pretty minute for an entire year. I don't remember, 16,000, 24,000, something like that. And now just recently I received a letter in the mail that says your budget is now $200,000 a year. And I'm just like, what the fuck? $200,000? Me and my wife together for 8 years, we purchased our first investment property to rent out to university students at Mawson Lakes, and we bought that for under $100,000. So if the government can give an NDIS worker $200,000 to wipe my backside suggestively with 4-ply platinum toilet paper, why the fuck can't they just give me something much less just to have my own house that's cheap to rent and live and look after myself? 200 grand? What on earth are you on? Anyways, it's 9 o'clock. I need to get ready as soon as possible and head off to something I've found for myself to stop myself from being extremely depressed and not seeing my son for these 2 years, missing him. And I know people say it, but you don't get it. I'm not a normal person. With my intellectual disability, I'm like more my son's big brother than his father, who's meant to be emotionally controlled and independent. And a lot of stereotypical dads, when they lose the wife who's a bitch and won't let them see the kids, they just say, well, I tried, and they don't care, and they just walk off and get another woman pregnant and start a new family. I can't do that. He's not even my son to me. He's like half my brother, and I'm his big brother, and I just miss him every single hour of every day thinking, see, I'm trying not to cry now just saying it, it's so true. There's nothing I can look at and just see lying around everywhere that doesn't make me think about my son and that I'm not with him, even just the stuff on the kitchen table. I have an e-scooter that's expensive to get around to save money, and instead of using my Volvo, it was an XC60. It's a very nice car, but it drinks petrol. I buy like not one, not two, but like 3 of these, just going insane, missing my son, imagining he's with me in some way. And I put this on my dashboard of my car. I put this on the front of my e-scooter that you can see in my previous videos as I'm buzzing along the back streets. If you go back a few videos, you can see this little guy's head buzzing crazy. So anyways, I need to drink my coffee as quick as I can. I have 30 minutes to be at the place. It's 9 o'clock, and I'm going to start my nearly free woodwork course just to keep myself mentally occupied so I don't become like a lot of other people in this situation, which is extremely depressed, suicide, or drugs, or alcohol, or just, did I mention going insane? If you don't understand what I'm rambling about, I'm sorry, but I can't introduce myself at the beginning of all these videos. I just decided if I had nothing left to lose, and my ex-wife of 8 years had taken away every single last part of my life, and I believe laws have been broken many times, and the South Australian government didn't even give me a form of free legal representation to even be able to ever reply to my wife's false claims. It's just that I do it by myself with no family and friends. Well, I have friends, but they're more like Facebook friends, and they just come with me whenever they want to get on what was my boat and go water skiing and rock climbing and stuff. It's more like a hobby business. But I'm not ashamed of that. I'm a very old-fashioned guy. I'm like the dude from Spencer's Mountain I mentioned in my previous videos. If there's ever one person or a movie I've ever seen in my entire life where I could not possibly be any more like the person in the movie, and they couldn't possibly be any more my dream role model, it's the movie Spencer's Mountain. But I think a lot of you people are going to be too young to know what Spencer's Mountain is. Maybe just type it in on Google, have a look. It's kind of like it's a bit after the Wild West era. It's like an early American settler, and it was his dream life, and it didn't involve much. He just had to work hard, build his own house, and one day when he had enough money to buy enough wood, well, he didn't even buy the wood, he cut the trees down himself, he would make his patio of his own house he built at the top of a mountain overlooking a beautiful snowy mountain range in the background, and a valley and a river. It was perfect, and that is my ultimate dream, something like that. Anyways, I need to stop gas bagging and chuck myself in the car. No time for a shower. I had one late last night in this house, which is absolutely painfully freezing. And I'm going to grab my board of wood. I still haven't unpacked all my belongings, you can see, because I don't really want to feel comfortable living in this shithole. It's emergency accommodation. I'm going to grab my big MDF board of wood, chuck it in my car. I don't have enough time for a shower, it's too cold anyways. And in 27 minutes I'm going to be at the local community centre, which I can't remember the name of because of my memory disability. And I finally get to unwind, going, if there's anything a man loves, an Aussie man. When everything's been taken away from him, it's sex, a beer, and playing with a whole bunch of $20,000 worth of power tools. I can't even barely remember what the first two were I said, but I don't have those, so what the heck, let's just go pay with the $20,000 worth of power tools at my local community centre. Okay, next video guys, when I come back I will show you my woodwork at the community centre I'm using to occupy myself while I'm going mentally insane, depressed, missing my son, with my wife breaking endless laws, taking advantage of my intellectual disability, not giving me any of my house, my son, my money, and South Australian government. Where's my fucking job? Why do you want to pay me $200,000 to get NDIS to wipe my backside? Why can't I just work at Coles? Fuck you, I hate you, I'm not thankful for the $200,000. I don't want the $200,000. I think taxpayers shouldn't pay the $200,000. I believe I'm not entitled to it. But my NDIS worker is telling me to be happy and that I should just receive that money rather than wanting to have employment. The only jobs I've ever had in my entire life are working for Chinese people that don't discriminate, and they only employ you if you look like you're going to work hard, and they give you cash in hand below minimum wage. That's the only jobs I've had my whole life. Below minimum wage, working for a Chinese fella. Disgusting. I'm still waiting. Come on, where's the comments down below? There's lots of people watching. There's lots of people subscribing quickly. Every time I look, there's another 4 subscribers. I think people are either finding me insanely entertaining, or they know that all this stuff I'm carrying on about is true. Do I need to go find Pauline Hanson to help me bitch and complain and give me work and stop wasting this taxpayer money? One very random thing I'll tell you. If you think I'm full of shit attention seeking, I'll tell you this one. This was disgustingly outrageous. Yesterday on YouTube with random pop-up ads, of course, because they know my profile, YouTube was suggesting videos to me about NDIS. And one of them was this stereotypical guy who's in a wheelchair, and his NDIS workers would grab him, take him to an indoor skydiving place, and the guy in the ad is saying, "Oh, it's good, I deserve this, and I'm in a wheelchair, but I'm bored, so they're going to take me skydiving." What the fuck? Skydiving? Like, I understand, man. Like, I'm in your situation. Maybe you've got this problem where you're in a wheelchair. And maybe your life's shit. And maybe you haven't been laid in a while. And maybe no one's giving you a job. But I do not agree that somebody's meant to pay tax to get you or me to go fucking skydiving. Are you for real? I mean, I feel guilty if I ask NDIS to pay for the wood that I had to purchase in Bunnings yesterday just to make my hobby, well, it's not a hobby, it's a job, painting frames to do my artwork to try and earn some money for myself because I'm so desperate in the way I'm currently living. The wood to make the professional frames for my paintings costs about $86. You know, if the government could give me 20 bucks out of that so I have enough money to buy myself food on the NDIS and disability support pension, I'd be very thankful for that. But I'm not going to ask people to pay me fucking money, thousands of dollars to go skydiving. Who the fuck came up with that? I'm sorry, disabled dude, but you're a retard. You're an idiot. You're not meant to receive money to go fucking skydiving. There's most definitely two different sides to people in Australia with severe disability. Mine's the severe short-term memory. And that's extreme too much and extreme too little. On one side, they're extremely too little, never giving me a job in my entire life, and I'm 41 years old. And on the other side, extremely too much, now they want to put 200 grand in my bank account, well, not my bank account, my NDIS budget, to have people do stuff for me that I can't even imagine. Yeah. Do you guys understand what I'm saying or not? I'm not boasting about the 200 grand. I'm not a rich guy who's bitching saying I didn't get my next fourth golf cart buggy to go around my property that's not good enough. I'm saying I don't want the 200 grand, people of South Australia. I just want a fucking job and I want to come off of NDIS and I never want to touch it again. So I head off to my woodwork now. I've got 20 minutes to get there. If anyone understands me, can you please post a comment, especially if you live in South Australia? What do you want? Do you want to pay tax and give me $200,000 a year? Or like I'm thinking logically, you'd probably prefer to talk to your friend of your friend and post a comment down below and help me have a fucking job, please. All I want is some shithole job working 3 out of 10 level at Coles, stacking shelves or something. Then once I get my first full-time job and getting cash put in my bank account and I get my first official references, then I'll return to what my original dreams were like fucking 26 years ago, and that's working in woodwork or metalwork, which I just had to teach myself, making my own $6,500 boat trailer with 4 wheels on it all by myself. But I couldn't be taught that way professionally, and I couldn't get a job that way professionally because I'm epilepsy. I'm epilepsy and no one will give me a job. It's just disgustingly prejudice, discrimination, and I shouldn't be doing this. And I shouldn't have lost 100% of my son and my assets to my wife with no form of contention, no reply to any of her claims, which were horrifically detailed and false. 100 claims, not one single one was replied. That's why she got so egotistic and kept going, because she was shocked that I wasn't replying. So she thought she'd make more and more claims that are not being replied to and see if she can just walk away and keep everything with bullshit suggestions like I'm a danger to my son. She did that. She started off with like, Danny's not nice, then Danny's bad, then Danny's more bad, then Danny's really bad, then what the fuck? Let's just say he can't even have his son in connection to something and come up with some crap excuse why I can keep the whole house. And then Danny doesn't even really have a lawyer, so he can't reply to it. So my wife just kept everything. My wife I was with, and I still love to this day, for 8 years did that to me. I'm such a nice guy softy, I swear on the life of my son, I'd even be happy to get along with her next dude and take them out water skiing on this boat thing we used to love doing every year. It was the most important thing. I don't care about the new guy. He's done nothing to me. He was just looking to score. And he's probably a friendly, innocent nerd that's treating my wife far better than she's treating him. So, if anything, I'm his friend. And then when he gets, beat up like me, I'll come find him and help him out. I'll help him sue my wife for his share of his money again. Anyways, 19 minutes. I've got to shut up and go do my woodwork. When you guys come back to my next video, you will hopefully see me productive. The rain has stopped, thankfully. I can put my piece of wood in the car. Hopefully I'm productive, and I hope in the near future I'm going to start showing you guys my paintings and see if my NDIS worker is doing real things or wasting time and taxpayer money. He has walked me into 2 different art places recently, and he's claiming they both want to sell my paintings for like a minimum of $1,600. I can't tell if he's humouring me and he's full of shit, or if I'm actually going to start a professional art career. My YouTube channel of me carrying on and all the random things that are happening around me, I will say again, is I think 4 times fold more interesting than the book Angela's Ashes, if you're familiar with that. It's one of my favourite books of all time. And I keep scratching my head thinking, wow, I reckon more shit happens to me than that dude in that book for sure. Hell yeah. Not even twice as much, 4 times as much. Short-term memory. I've got to shut up and move. 18 minutes. Alright, stop talking, Danny, and move. When you guys come back to my next video, look at the number in the corner. Look at the title, and it will say vlog video 32 or something like that. I don't have time, guys, to explain what's happening in my life in each and every video. And I'm going to stop explaining as much as I keep going, because people are subscribing to the channel and they are motivating me to keep going. And I do have daily life battles that happen to me 6 times a day. Just do this, just do this, just do that. When I went to Bunnings yesterday, telling myself to shut up and engage myself in a course, shut up with your suggested, you think in your head you have no money to buy the wood, just shut up and buy it. And then when I got home and I went to sleep, I looked at my bank account when I woke up and I was like, yeah, you got $20 to last you the next 6 days, man. That's probably wasn't a good move, buying all that wood. Ooh. And a scammer from Facebook, but we won't go into that. It's always a scammer. If you sell anything on Facebook, just be aware that the person that sends you the message nearly instantly is, 90% most likely a scammer. He just wasted 5 minutes of my time. I hate those people. So anyway, short-term memory problem. Sorry, guys. The point to what I was trying to say is I can't explain everything. Some of these videos will be highly interesting if you know the detail in the background, but if you just start watching episode 1, you'll have no idea what this crazy dude's talking about. So look at the number in the corner and go all the way back to the beginning, or at least back a few episodes, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's like watching Home and Away. You can't understand what the hell they're talking about and who's cheating on who and who Sally is and who slept with Crystal if you don't watch a season or 2. Then once you've watched a season or 2 that your mum made you watch before you go to bed every night. My mum abused me with Neighbours and Home and Away. Ugh, I couldn't stand it. Once you're up to watching the season for the 3rd time, you know everyone back to front. That's kind of what you need to do if you're interested in this videos. Please like and subscribe, and no, it's not for money, it's not for my ego, it's because I've fallen to the bottom of the hole. There's nowhere left further I can possibly fall. I've lost absolutely everything in my life. The South Australian government, with my intellectual disability, did not protect me with my severe short-term memory. They let my wife abuse me incredibly, falsely incriminate me, take the money, take the son, everything imaginable and more. And I have nowhere to go but back up from the bottom. So fuck you, government, fuck you, ex. Well, not really. Even if she's with the dude, I'm still going to be, for my son, I'm still going to promise myself the rest of my life not to hate anyone. Yeah, South Australian government, are you there? Are you going to give me a job instead of paying this 200 grand? Bobby that owns the local IGA, can I do some shitty shelf stacking job that's greatly below my capabilities rather than collecting this money? I'd like to. If you know anyone local, please pass the message on to them and tell them this is real. There's a dude that's 41 years old and he's so heavily discriminated against with the word epilepsy from 16 years ago, and he hasn't had seizures since then, that no one in South Australia has ever been willing to give him a job because the word epilepsy sounds too scary, even if it's a past medical condition, and even if he hasn't had a seizure in 16 years. Disgusting. See you guys. Next episode I'll be doing my woodwork. Bye.